All right, so we're here on Nepal. We will be looking at Village for our first map, so we can see the way that we had the first fight. We're gonna have the Cheesesteaks here versus elit3. We're gonna really see probably that likely rollout on the top, and that mid fight really setting the pace for what's gonna be happening here.
Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of Moira on this point. I think. Okay, sorry. I feel like there's just like not enough times where she's going to be able to get max value of her healing. Like in the fights where she needs to be healing a ton, she's going to run out of juice really quickly.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Very important. In a nice, orderly fashion, we have free pizza for people here. So in a nice, orderly fashion, feel free to eat. Don't kill yourselves or each other, because that's too much paperwork for me. So go and enjoy some nice lunch. Thank you for coming out.
All right, so we're going to be looking at the roll here. We're going to probably be seeing both teams go up top. We're seeing a Lucio on both sides, so they'll both be getting there around the same time. We have very similar comps coming out here with the exception of Zen instead of Moira. So opting for that Discord orb with a lot of damage coming out. Of those, Moira, a very diveable target, really taking away a lot of healing from the team. So we're going to see the mid-fight break out here, and we see the Cheesesteaks already taking a bit of a positioning advantage, pushing Red back, forcing their positioning to kind of break apart here. We do see a pick onto the Winston on elit3, so taking that positioning at a price. 2 picks come out. We're about evens here. As we see the cleanup coming in for the Cheesesteaks here. The fight kind of breaking down towards the point, so they rotate back. Cheesesteaks will be in control at this point, as the elit3 will have to regroup here.
It looks like they already have Diva Bomb, which is pretty crazy. It's only been one fight.
Yeah, we'll see Diva Bomb coming up here, as well as the Tracer Pulse Bomb. So winning that mid-fight, really key in starting to snowball the effect of the ult charge. We do see a stick onto the Winston, as well as a pick onto the Diva for pwnst4rz. And the kills will be coming in here for the Cheesesteaks, really using that ult advantage to find a pick and close them out, forcing them back up. We see the mech here popped by Nox, really force him back and re-mech here. But we will see the pwnst4rz have to regroup here. Cheesesteaks looking to peel back and regroup on that high ground.
I think one of the nice things on Moira is actually, like, her ult's obviously low value compared to the beat and the trance, but for retaking this point, she charges so quickly, and now they can retake it to Moira ult. It's really good to actually get back on the point.
So
you don't have to use a big cooldown to do it.
We already have 2 picks coming out here for elit3, and while the counter trades are coming back in, so it's looking even again. You can see the potential for the DPS to frag out here and really set it back to where it is. IEFA really putting on a lot of damage here, finding 4 frags this fight, re-equalizing with a stick onto the mech for the D-mech. And we will see a huge carry play coming out from him, really able to help his team stabilize after losing 2 initial picks.
I'd really like to see this more, just like, right out of the choke, use your ult, get everyone in there, keep them healthy, get on the point and have a fight, because they're really having trouble even getting there right now.
So we're going to see a huge play come out again from that Tracer, really forcing everyone back here. We see both beats dropped here up in that choke area on the high ground with a lot of chaos coming through. But we do have the clock still ticking down for the Cheesesteaks. So again, the elit3 forced out here. The Tracer just doing so much work for the team. IEFA really putting in the work, chugging in the damage, and even with that Moira, he's able to find those picks that he needs in conjunction with that Discord orb. So we're going to see the pwnst4rz push back in here, jumping the high ground and putting pressure on the point. Trans popped out here from Bloodthirsty to keep his team alive, and we're already at overtime here. So elit3 will have to take this fight with no ult. The Tracer going down. There's just big picks coming out from the Cheesesteaks. Good picks from the supports, and we will see cleanup here from the Cheesesteaks. Really looking for the cleanup here. That probably will be the first map for the Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, it looks like they just abused the Moira. They dove every time, forced her shift, and then just killed her.
So really good target prioritization there, and the Tracer really putting in the damage where it needs to go, forcing them to basically stagger every single push with that early pickoff, or the refrags coming out from that Tracer. A lot of good damage out from them, as well as the coordinated dive from Idimar, doing a lot of work for the team. So moving back in here to Sanctum, we will be inside, and we're going to see what teams start to run here. Usually opting for a lot more spammable static comp, so we will see both teams switch that Orisa Hog Junkrat combo to try to push the high ground and force the other team back. We will be seeing Moira run on both sides. A lot better now that she can't be dove as easily with these slower comps. Identical comps for the most part, with the exception of the triple tank from the Cheesesteaks versus the soldier on the side of the elit3.
Yeah, I don't think D.Va's really bad here. She can eat the Orisa Orb, the Mora Orb, so a lot of less healing and less damage there.
So we see the shield battle healer coming out on the left side, really trying to find that positional advantage. It's all about spamming that shield. We can already see that the Cheesesteaks are able to take a positional advantage, having a forward shield, and really winning those shield fights with the Soldier Junkrat. Able to push up here. Both teams rotating the point. It's still been a relatively even fight. And we see that Moira healing coming through with no one really going down, with a lot of burst healing. A big pick out of Soko, able to find the enemy Roadhog. And that's going to snowball the push. We're going to see the Cheesesteaks start to push in here. But Memphis does manage to find the Junkrat and the D-Mac. A huge mid-fight. A tire already come out very early. Doesn't really find any value. And we'll see the Cheesesteaks pre-push here. Nox being able to take out the main tank on the side of Elite pwnst4rz and really coming in here, finding the right priorities, and really cleaning up with his DPS. So we're going to see them push up here. Really forcing the Elite pwnst4rz out and taking that positional advantage. But Nox does get punished with a hook coming out from doorway, but he is able to come out. So we'll see the respawns coming back in from Cheesesteaks as they opt to regroup around the point with that respawn that they're still waiting for.
Yeah, if they can get a pick with the Junkrat tire here, it would be really big.
So we do see a Soldier ult coming out here from the side of Elite pwnst4rz, as well as a beat drop. Not quite able to find anything, but they will force the Cheesesteaks back a little bit. More ult coming in here from Bloodthirsty to keep his team alive. Although the Junkrat does go down, they do find a pick onto Orisa, and a huge bomb finding Junkrat and just cleaning up with that Moira ult. We're going to see another win for the Cheesesteaks, able to push here and just clean up. Meanwhile, IEFA sitting in the back lines, just chugging out damage while his team brawls at the front. You can see that Elite pwnst4rz really having a tough time pushing into this static comp here. So we see again the Cheesesteaks pushed up really far. They are opting to back up a little bit as the pwnst4rz regroup and repush this. We see a whole hog come out from doorway, just able to take that positional advantage, really forcing Soko out of position here, and that'll be a great pick for them to start the push. We do see the D.Va Nox go down low, but she does get that huge Moira healing come back up. As we can see that with that Moira healing, you're able to keep your team up for such a long time. Even the trades coming in here, let's toss things up to 73. This may be the second to last fight for the Elite pwnst4rz, so they really need to win this. They are able to find the frags they need to regroup here, but the Cheesesteaks will have an ult advantage coming back in for the repush.
Cheesesteaks are still only running one support, but looks like the D.Va is still working out for them, so not a bad choice.
Yeah, and making sure that Moira stays alive is a huge deal here, as she trucks out so much healing, especially for the Cheesesteaks, where they only have one support. She will be safe, as Elite pwnst4rz have no real good way of getting to the back lines to punish her. We do see the beat drops come out here from the pwnst4rz. Ult's coming out from IEFA, trying to push him back. But they are able to find the picks. It's relatively even, but the Cheesesteaks managed to flip the point back in their favor. Equal trades here with a slight advantage for the pwnst4rz. But we're going to see the frags come out here. We see the fight evolve, and we see that IEFA really putting in the damage from the backline there. Able to really start chugging out damage and cutting off the healing, as well as just outputting a huge amount of damage on the team. And that will be the cap. So the first map taken by the Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, pretty clean win from the Cheesesteaks.
All right, so you can see IEFA really putting in the work for his team here with a lot of damage coming out, both harassing the squishies as well as farming that pulse bomb relatively fast. You can see that he's really taking advantage of the fact that there's a lot of chaos going off in the mid-fight. Notice that not a lot of people are really paying attention to him, and he's able to find the frags he needs to push his team towards the victory there.
Yep, he did pretty well, as well as the D.Va. I think they were the star 2 players for this team.
Hello. All right, cool. It's on now. Yeah, I think it was a good map. I think oftentimes the map there just comes down to like shoot at the other person's shield quicker, and if you break the Orisa shield first, you have an advantage. It doesn't necessarily look the most interesting thing, but there's a lot going into it, and you know, I think Moira is really great on that point. You can do a lot of healing. Like you said, you can't get dove that easily. Highest healing output in the game if she's not, you know, being dove constantly. So I think both teams made a good choice there.
Especially on those sides where static comps are favored a lot. She's very safe in the backline there. So we're going to be moving into our next map, King's Row, and this will be match point for the Cheesesteaks, as it is a best of 3. So we will see a lot of standard come out here, as it's very popular. Obviously, the Junkrat hold in Hotel, Soldier on the high ground, very common things you'll see on King's Row, whether it's with the team or in solo queue, we're going to see. As well as we may see a quad tank setup come up here, very popular in the meta currently, as long as you can keep that Moira alive. So we're going to see what they plan to do here, and What do you think the pwnst4rz need to do here to come back?
I think their tank synergy isn't that great, so maybe the Junkrat will help them with countering the 4 tanks if the Cheesesteaks do choose to run 4 tanks.
All right, so we're gonna see the comp starting to come in here. It looks like a triple tank from the Cheesesteaks on the defense with elite pwnst4rz running a similar comp on the attack. They're gonna have both teams will have the Lucio, so they'll be able to take that positioning advantage. We're gonna see if Goomba here will hold the hotel. A really powerful hold to prevent A, rotations from the attacker team, and B, give a safe place for both supports and low tanks to back up into that hotel. We're gonna have really no high ground advantage here, as we're not gonna have any real hit scan. So we will see a lot of the brawl come down to the point as well as around statue. And we're gonna basically see a lot of tank play of who can really zone out whom. So we do have a Zarya on the side of the Cheesesteaks versus the we have a Hog on the side of the Cheesesteaks, which will give them a little bit more damage in this fight. So we're going to see how that plays out for them. It's really going to come down a lot to whose Moira is able to put in a lot of work and which tanks are able to take the positioning that they need for this victory.
I think compositionally here, even with the Lucio Moira as healers, you know, D.Va, you're not going to get as much healing. I do still give the favor to the D.Va. She can eat the balls. She can do more than the Roadhog. The Roadhog's not going to be doing much for getting picks when both teams are running behind a shield.
All right, so we see the elite pwnst4rz rotating around here to statue, looking for their engagement. They're just chucking down shields right now. You can see both teams healing up quite a lot. Taking advantage of this big map. Big pin, but it is saved by Brutum. And we're going to see the Cheesesteaks starting to get pushed out here. We do see trade picks coming in from both sides. But the advantage going towards the attackers with that advantage of respawn. Elite pwnst4rz is really able to take a really early shatter comes out from the side of Memphis, really able to push them back. We see both Moira ults come out, but a big Riptire out of Goomba, able to stop that Moira ult. As we see Cheesesteaks here start to stabilize and find the picks they need. So it will be elite pwnst4rz having to regroup here. We can also see that because of that early win, the Cheesesteaks have a huge ult advantage coming to this next fight. We're going to have a beat drop as well as whole hog. Where really only the attackers will have the Riptire and maybe a D.Va bomb coming up, but they will have the Lucio ult. So we're going to see what they make do with that.
Yeah, they also do have the grab, and the grab can do amazing things at this point. I mean, you know, it's the first point of a hybrid really is like a 2CP, and you just see like it's one Zarya grab that wins the fight.
So here we go, grab coming out from Brutum, and a beat drop, and a counter grab out of Nox. Let's see which damage can follow up. A huge shatter out of Idimar, really able to take back the fight there, cleaning up for his team. A big Junkrat bomb does come out, so they will be able to push off those picks, as the defenses will have a long respawn time. So we're going to want to see the Cheesesteaks here start to back up and get ready for this counter push coming out here. So
yeah, I don't think it was smart for Brutum to use grab there, knowing that his Junkrat got picked early. They just didn't have enough damage to follow up with it.
We see another shatter come out from Memphis, and he's able to find 2, really swinging the fight in their favor. And then the trade picks will start to come in for pwnst4rz. They're really able to take back this point, and it looks like the Cheesesteaks here will have to back up. Ult economy at about an even here. We'll see both Moiras at their ults. Able to keep the team alive, so you'll see a very, very long mid team fight, especially a mid fight for the next fight. All right, so we're entering Streets phase here. We're going to see both teams trying to fight for that corner. You can already see both Ryans brawling out for that corner, trying to take the positional advantage. We do have a Riptire here on the side of Goomba, so we're going to see if we can find a pick with that. But you can see that Moira healing, really keeping the team alive, really able to brawl that corner on both sides.
Looks like Nox built another grab. They might be able to get the grab Junkrat Tower combo off. They coordinated well.
They're not going to have beat for it, looks like, and then Moira ult's going to do a lot, but not enough to save you from the Riptire.
So Goomba is able to shut down the opposing Riptire as he launches his own. We do see a grab come up with a Riptire combo, able to take a lot of damage and finding Memphis in that explosion. We're going to see the Cheesesteaks start to re-push here, and they're able to find what they need. They find the D-Mech. The pwnst4rz do... so let's see, the pwnst4rz do use beat drop there. And you may have noticed that the Cheesesteaks do lose their Lucio ult there, as he died while casting the ult. We do see the pwnst4rz get the respawns, and they start to push back in here. Their Ryan already back, with the Moira healing up very quickly. Whole Hog does come out from IEFA to try to keep them back. And a big shatter again coming out from Idimar, able to swing the fight back in their favor, but he does go down for it, as he is overextending a little bit to try to clean up, with his team not there to follow up. They do have the numbers advantage, but they are forced to back up here and wait for the respawn. A grab comes in from Brutum to try to get that aggression and really clean up on the fight, and he's able to find it.
Yeah, the long respawns here on Streets phase make it really interesting with these fights. If you really just have to win once or twice and you're at the checkpoint. Again, it does seem like the pwnst4rz will have enough ults to get all the way through, but if a big grab comes out, they still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so the Cheesesteaks really just don't have an option to full hold here anymore.
So we're going to see if the Cheesesteaks choose to contest here. They're already being spammed out by this Junkrat with Memphis holding very aggressively. He does find a Shatter, and with both Moira ults coming out here, we're going to see a crazy mid-fight come out with a lot of healing and a lot of stability coming through. So we're going to really have to wait for these ults to end to really figure out what's going on. Guma does find a pick onto Doorway as he uses his ult. And we're gonna see a Riptire here for the Junkrat if he opts to use it. Trade picks coming through with the advantage for the Cheesesteaks for the respawns. But a lot of brawling. We do see this Riptire come out. We're gonna see if we can find any picks. And it does! A huge Riptire finds 3, able to secure the point for the pwnst4rz. Really what they needed to close out that mid-fight with all that healing. So we're gonna see Memphis again comes up with it's gonna have another Earth Shatter for this next fight. So we're gonna see both sides with an Earth Shatter. So we're gonna see that shield play come into play here. The D.Va really giving an advantage here, able to soak up a lot of that damage to give shield advantage. A big Shatter comes out as Itty does drop his shield and goes down for it. A grab comes out from Brudum, and the beat drop tries to save him, but it's not quite enough. As the pwnst4rz is able to find the picks they need to really push through here. A very aggressive play from the pwnst4rz, but it does come out in their favor. So we're going to see the last minute stall here from the Cheesesteaks to see if they can get on. We do see the Moira jump on. We see both support ults coming out, but they do jump off the point. It's going to be a great time from the pwnst4rz. Really able to come back from that first map.
Yeah, it looks like the Ryan and Zarya just had really good coordination, was able to get really fat shatters, and worked out for them. Capped with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I mean, I think there's 3 big shatters from the elite pwnst4rz there, which is incredible in that game, especially when you have a Ryan in the enemy team, who can basically counteract it by keeping his shield up. Like, he's really looking for his moments, really found a lot of big ults.
So we can see here that the tank play on the side of the pwnst4rz is really what's driving them through this here. On the first map, you can see IEFA doing a lot of damage on that Koth map, but the elite pwnst4rz are doing a great job of utilizing their tanks to mitigate the damage as well as push through.
Yeah, and again, the reason I do like D.Va is you can see in a lot of the Streets fights that the Roadhog is just kind of awkward. He's either behind the enemy team's main tank, getting picks, but then he's out of position, or he's behind his team and he's not really doing much. You're not going to break the shield by yourself as Roadhog when it's a Rhine. So again, I do think that the pwnst4rz running the D.Va there was the smarter play.
Yeah, and a lot of utility coming out from the D.Va. You got the defense matrix, you got the micro missiles now. So a lot of utility as well as protection, able to help his team out. With really a lot of value also coming in from the mid fight with the Roadhog. If you're not hitting those hooks, you're not getting the value. And yeah, you can spam shields, but in this quad tank setup, it's not really going to find a lot for you. So we're going to start seeing the comps come in here. We will see the elite pwnst4rz run that Junkrat again. We're going to see if they can hold that hotel positioning and really take advantage of it to allow his team to chug out damage while holding strong positioning against the Cheesesteaks. Cheesesteaks opting to find the McCree here and possibly a Bastion, but we may see that switch up very quickly. With a triple tank setup with an Ana instead of a Moira now. Ana with that healing aid, very powerful, but really the value comes in the purple to prevent that Moira healing. So while you don't have to go for the Moira now, you can just purple a tank and try to burn them down quickly. So we're going to see how this works out for them.
Yeah, I'm assuming the McCree is just a comfort pick for IEFA, because I don't really think there's a good reason to run it on attack here, so it must just be a hero that he's really comfortable on.
Alright, so we're going to see the Cheesesteaks here start to push in. They do push straight in, right to the point. We see Guma go right in, trying to push him back with Idimar really taking a lot of space, but forced to back out. It does take a ton of damage. He's able to heal up. They did switch back to a Moira from that Ana, so we will see that Moira instead. Guma going very, very low, and but is D-maxed now. So we see advantage coming in from Doorway, finding Goomba and IAFA. That utility from the D.Va really coming out. As you can see, he can go chug into those tanks as well as find the picks he needs. And it looks like the Cheesesteaks here are going to be forced to back out. And again, you can see pwnst4rz already having those 2 ults up. Of course, both Moira ults already ready, as there's just a huge amount of healing coming in from both sides for that triple tank setup.
Definitely worth pointing out that the pwnst4rz have already built Shatter again. This guy is just building it so quickly.
We do see a Riptire come out of here from the elite pwnst4rz, from JTA. And he does find a pick on the Bloodthirsty, staggering that push a little bit. They're going to have to regroup here, as they can't push in without their Lucio. They do opt to try to push, however. A Shatter does come out. It only finds one. It is stopped. So we do see both Moira's ults coming out here. IFA does find a pick on the Junkrat. Soko cleaning up Commander. And we start to see the fight swing in the favor of Cheesesteaks as they're able to push through here. So aggressive. Really bullying them out of the point here. A grab does come out from Brudum, which does find some value, but it will not be enough to stop the Cheesesteaks here.
Yeah, Edimar with a great counter shatter. I think he hit 4 or 5 with that. Able to finish off the elite pwnst4rz there.
So you can see the elite pwnst4rz is playing very aggressive in this series. It has been working out for them on the attack, but on the defense, not so much, as we can see that they were punished for their aggression. We're going to see the Cheesesteaks now push up onto that corner, trying to take the positioning with 1 or 2 on the card just to get that card progress going. We do see a Graviton come out from the side of the Cheesesteaks with a Riptire follow-up that can't quite find it. We do see it looking around. It does get taken down. Only 1 pick coming out for the Cheesesteaks from that, but they are able to take this corner. Moira ult coming out to try to keep the team alive, but they do still lose the DMAC. They do pop Lucio ult on the side of the Cheesesteaks. They really want to win this fight, but it looks like it's going about evens with the pwnst4rz really able to come back here. Using that nice positioning around the corner to really take the damage that they need, as well as to heal up when they don't, when they want to back off.
Nox is somehow at 75% to grab again, so I mean, it did seem like a waste, but he's built it back up so quickly that it might not even matter.
Yeah, really taking advantage of that high energy in the mid fight to build up his grab once again is really helping him to charge these very, very quickly. You can see compared to Brodom's 63% that he's really putting in a lot of work with the team. You know, even at 70-80%, putting so much damage. He's gonna have another grab coming up here. We're gonna look to see if he wants to use it. Guma does get DMAX though. He does pop it, but a huge eat out of doorway, preventing that Graviton surge. Doesn't matter how fast you charge it if it gets eaten, but they are able to find the frags they need here using the Riptire with Edimar just going in, swinging. They are able to win this Streets phase, and they're going to be rolling up in the Streets. Elite pwnst4rz is going to be looking to contest at the last section of Streets phase. They do have good ult advantage, but we're going to see what they make do with it.
Yeah, they really need to stop focusing down the bubbles that Nox puts out, and whenever he uses his self bubble, make sure you focus him and try to take him down.
Yeah, Zarya very, very vulnerable after she uses her self bubble. No movement, anything. That's her only protection. So we're going to see Elite pwnst4rz start to push back in here. A lot of ults coming out. A big block out of Edimar, preventing the shatter. He does have his own. They are forced out here a little bit. The Cheesesteaks being forced out of their positioning. Really, the Elite pwnst4rz aggression comes through, and they find those picks they need. The pwnst4rz going to have to regroup here. The Cheesesteaks going to have to regroup here. The pwnst4rz do burn quite a few ults, but they do have a few ults left in their pocket. So a good fight coming out from them, really using the aggression that they needed to find the picks they need and stabilize here.
Yep, Nox is at 70% on grab, but he did end up losing all his charge because he died last fight, but he's already close again, so we'll see.
So the Cheesesteaks here with a lot of ults coming up, it's probably going to win this fight if they use them efficiently. The Elite pwnst4rz are going to have a really solid defense here. The D.Va with a lot of potential to prevent these ults with her DM. We're going to see a big shatter comes out as Memphis is swept to the side, and Edimar is able to find a huge pick. A beat drop does come out. A huge bomb coming up from doorway, able to stabilize the fight for the pwnst4rz, as they will have that respawn advantage. It will now just be on the pwnst4rz to clean up the fight and really bleed out the Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, smart for Goomba to save his D.Va Bomb there. They have the Zarya D.Va Bomb combo next fight and also more ult, so they should be able to take this if they play it correctly.
So a solid win there out of the pwnst4rz, but the Cheesesteaks will have ults ready for the attack again. So even though they lost that fight, they didn't overcommit to it, and they were able to have good ult economy to hopefully take this back. We will still even ults, but really no decent ult to stop this D.Va Bomb. The Lucio ult will be the closest we can find to try to protect them. But will it be enough? Let's find out as we enter this another fight here. A big grab comes out from Brudum early as he's able to find the damage they need. The Junkrat just chugging a huge amount of damage to find those picks and force Cheesesteaks back to yet again. Cheesesteaks, though, very good discipline, only using the D.Va Bomb there and not wasting the Graviton. But however, with that Graviton, as they did not use any follow-up ults, they do have a lot of ults now on the defense, shifting the ult economy in their favor. With only 57 seconds remaining, they may only have 1 or 2 fights left to be able to take this point. So we're going to have to see a lot of discipline coming out from the side of the Cheesesteaks if they want to take this. IEFA does take out the Riptire, so it's already a good start for them. It's 1 ult down, but a huge ult coming out from Memphis, able to find 3 or 4 of them. As they do take Nox down, so that's Graviton out of the way. The Cheesesteaks are going to regroup here quickly if they're going to want a chance at another team fight, but it looks like they're going to get staggered here. D.Va being DMAxed. Soko does find a pick onto the Zarya, but they're going to have that respawn advantage. IFA using the tire very, very early. Even though they have that respawn advantage, they are looking to repush this without fully regrouping. Nox coming back with that Graviton. We're going to see that's going to be a huge decider in this factor. Commander doing a very good job of saving his Lucio beat drop for this Graviton surge.
I think just really smart ult play from the pwnst4rz here, and honestly, I mean, the last phase of King's Row is always really hard to get. I think at this point, I'd be very surprised if Cheesesteaks managed to get all the way, even if they do cap this next checkpoint.
So we see Doorway with a huge ult and a Graviton coming out from Nox. Both teams not quite able to find anything as the beat draw comes out from both sides. We see a chaotic mid-fight come out here, but the Cheesesteaks do have a positional advantage. Trades coming in from both sides, with, looking in the favor of the Cheesesteaks right now. Riptire comes out from JTA. Not quite able to find anything as the Cheesesteaks start to find the frags they need to start to push this point. They are in OT and are forced to stand and fight. But Goomba finding a big pick on Demora. That's going to be a lot of healing down from the side of Elite pwnst4rz. As they're able to find the picks they need, restabilizing and taking the streets phase. So already coming into the last section of the map, we have the Cheesesteaks at a time disadvantage. But they have been able to stabilize and still have a chance at this map.
Yeah, Elite pwnst4rz, they have the Graviton. But the Cheesesteaks also have a Junkrat Tire, and you never know we can get with that, so we'll see.
So we're going to see what kind of picks we can find here as the mid-fight breaks out. Again, that Moira keeping everyone alive. But you can see Goomba here on this high ground, able to push Memphis a little bit out of position here. But they do end up using the Graviton from the side of Rudum. And he is able to find value out of it as they do get the D-Mech down. Trade picks coming in favor of the defense, which is good for them as they do have the respawn advantage. JTA really on top of stopping those Riptires out of IEFA with his mines, as it looks like the Cheesesteaks here are trying to push in. They're finding the frags they need, but they are finding themselves out of position here, and the Elite pwnst4rz really disciplined with their positioning, able to clean up those who are out of position and take the fight back in their favor, as it looks like the Cheesesteaks here, although had the advantage, their position fell apart and they're going to have to regroup. We're going to see Nox with the Graviton coming up here. We're going to have about even ult economy coming from both sides. But the difference with Cheesesteaks, having a defensive ult available to them. An early bomb comes out of Doorway, not quite able to find anything. We see Soko engage with the Moira ult here, really keeping his team alive, but allowing his team to push in. We do see the Riptire come out trying to stop it, but it does just find barriers from that Lucio ult coming out from Bloodthirsty. As Idimar is able to kill Memphis, who's out of position, as Graviton Surge comes out from Nox, just chugging damage into it. They do use the Diva Bomb, but it isn't able to find any value as they do just chug damage into that Graviton Surge. So we have the Cheesesteaks here now in overtime. We're going to have to see Elite pwnst4rz. If they want to win this map, they're going to have to come in very strong here to stop this push. You can already see that Cheesesteaks pushing up to try to prevent the respawns from coming in. A Shatter does come out, but it is blocked by Idimar. Idimar getting his own Shatter, but it is blocked as well. So neither team able to use that Shatter to find value. But the picks are still coming in from the Cheesesteaks with a big tire coming in from IFA, and that will close out the map for the Cheesesteaks with a minute left in the time bank.
Looks like their only option is to tie here. They have 3 minutes to hold.
Yeah, on a hybrid map, again, it's going to be the pwnst4rz map to win. The best that the Cheesesteaks can do is draw here. I don't know. I mean, it really just looks cleaner from the pwnst4rz than both push. Defense at the beginning, they're a little bit sloppy, but if you look at the hold they had before a second checkpoint, they were doing really well at managing ults. They're doing really well at getting picks. They found 1 or 2 big tires, and that's pretty inconsistent. But when you find those, it kind of like sets the ult advantage. It gives you ult economy advantage to you because you didn't use much and you stopped in a full push.
So we will see the 2:44 time bank here from the pwnst4rz. My mistake on that call. So the best the Cheesesteaks can do is tie. So we're going to see what the Elite pwnst4rz are going to do. They only have to win this a third of the first point. So we're going to see how they use their ult economy here to try to take this. This is going to be crucial in how this whether they can win this map or not is going to be their ult economy. So we see the same comps coming out. With the Cheesesteaks opting for Zenyatta now for that defensive ult to try to give them that the saving grace that they need to keep their team alive for this fight, as they will have a respawn disadvantage. Any picks on the side of Elite pwnst4rz will be very valuable, as they can always just find a pick and back off and re-engage once they're ready.
Yeah, I mean, the Zen Trance is one of the best ways to just counter a Zarya grab, but honestly, I don't love the pick here, given the comps that they both have. He's not going to be able to put out that much healing. They're not diving. He's not putting Discord orbs on people that are key dive targets, so we'll see. Again, I think I'd give comp advantage to pwnst4rz.
They do have Zen Mora, though, so they still have a decent amount of healing, but they don't have the Lucio speed for the Reinhardt, so I don't think it's going to work out too well.
So Elite pwnst4rz trying to push straight in here, not even rotating through statue. We're going to see a very aggressive push, and we can already see that Nox at 40-50% on his ult charge. A lot of work coming in from him. You can see that Ryan going down and the damage really coming out on the side of the Cheesesteaks. And that's going to be critical for them to give them that ult advantage that they need for the next fight. You can see them pushing in here, trying to find those daggers, and they do find a very good cleanup coming out from them. However, Goomba does lose mech for it, so that might be a really good opportunity for the pwnst4rz to re-push. However, we do see that the both Moira ults are coming up, but Nox really putting in the work here at 85% in comparison to Broom's 60%. So we're going to see what he can make do with that. pwnst4rz already pushing back in very, very aggressively. We can see Nox here at 100%, rotating through Hotel, able to just come into that backline and start chugging out damage already with that grab assault. Pops it on the point, finds a big grab, but does go down for it as Elite pwnst4rz finds the picks they need to prevent that damage. We do see Trans come out here from the Cheesesteaks to try to stabilize with Goomba finding 2 picks. Very, very messy team fight, but the respawn advantage going in the favor of the pwnst4rz, and they do have that quick respawns. We're going to see if the Cheesesteaks can hold out here and wait for their respawns to come through. The Moira healing really, really keeping them alive. Good clutch healing coming out from Soko to keep up Goomba for this stall. IFA does stop the Riptire coming out from JTA. And it looks like the Cheesesteaks are relatively able to regroup here, but we do have the respawns coming out here from pwnst4rz, and we see Nox switch to that Tracer to get back faster. Idimar with the Shatter, looking for an opportunity. With the Rhine down, they are able to stabilize, though, and are able to keep these ults. So very good ult economy coming out from the Cheesesteaks with a lot of frags coming in. Nox really putting in the work, both on Zarya and Tracer. You can see he's already 66 to pulse bomb here.
Yep, only 40 seconds left, so Elite pwnst4rz really need to pull this one out if they want to win this.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, the trance was wasted, and was used in the previous fight, and the pwnst4rz do have a grab. So I don't know if Moira can really compete, especially if he gets caught in it.
So it's really going to come down to this Graviton Surge and the damage follow-up that they can bring with it. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. We see that Nox already rotating through the backline, trying to put the harass in. Both Moira ults come out to try to keep their teams alive. The grab does come out on the point. We see equal trades come in. Nox does have the pulse bomb. Doesn't quite find anything with it, with trades coming in the pwnst4rz favor. Although Goomba with a big Diva ult, will it be enough to restabilize the team, as it is looking a little bleak here for the Cheesesteaks. They do pop Trans again to keep Goomba up and alive, and we're going to see the pwnst4rz start to get the respawns in that they're going to need to take this point. But Bloodthirsty really fragging out here, able to contest the point with the Goomba, as Cheesesteaks come in with a big shatter coming out of Idimar, able to give himself a little bit of space for his team, as we see the refrags coming in from Cheesesteaks as they just flood the point here, really finding the frags they need, having good target prioritization, and finding those key picks to retake this point here. They're going to clean up, and overtime will be ticking down, and Cheesesteaks will take the map with a very clutch draw here coming out.
Yep, Goomba really popped off there, killed about 4 or 5 people, killed 3 with the Diva Bomb. Was able to pull it out for his team.
Yeah, those maps are always weird when you go to the overtime push, where so the push where one team has not capped, or has no time left, because it's kind of always like overtime. The defending team needs to stand the point. You only need 33%. It takes about 10 seconds to full cap the point if you have 3 people on it. So you're looking at 3.3 seconds of everyone from the attacking team on, and the point's gone. So it's basically like overtime. You have to either be on the payload or you lose.
Yep.
So we can see last round, a lot of the DPS were able to shine on that King of the Hill map. However, we see Nox really putting in the work for his team, building grabs almost every fight, or every other fight, as well as the positional advantage that they were able to maintain with the frags, allowing his team to frag out when he needed to. So we are going to look for a Junkertown map, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, we will be moving to Junkertown. So we're going to see here what's going to happen with both teams. Moving forward, what do the pwnst4rz need to do? They seem to have a solid play. What changes can they make to come back here?
Well, it seems like they're very comfortable with the tanks and Junkrat, so I think if they keep on running the Lucio Mora, maybe they can pull this one out. But they really need to make sure if they're not running Lucio Mora and they're running tanks or the Winston Diva, they really need to coordinate their dives.
And Junkertown's a map where you kind of need to switch your comp around a lot. What's optimal on first point's not optimal on second point. And I feel like we've just seen more flexibility for the Cheesesteaks. So I would expect them to take this map. I mean, they have people swapping off different roles. And if the pwnst4rz just want to run that same comp all the way through, they're going to have trouble. So, I mean,
yep.
That being said, we haven't seen anyone play the Widow yet. So one of these teams might have an expert Widow player, and then that just tips everything in your favor. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and that really became evident with a really strong first push out of the pwnst4rz, but the Cheesesteaks starting to figure it out in the mid to late game, and that's why they're able to draw that out. Really starting to figure out how they wanted to approach things, becoming a lot more comfortable as a team, as well as playing against them. So it looks like we're about ready to move back into our next map here. We will be going into Junkertown.
I'm excited. Junkertown's a map that's wacky at like the owl level. You often see double sniper comp, so looking forward to see what these guys can come up with.
Yeah, so this really gives an opportunity for teams to run things that maybe aren't necessarily meta, but on this map can be run here. So it gives an opportunity for all the players here to shine on things that maybe people don't usually see them play too often. But we are going to have the Cheesesteaks. They do have a 1-0 lead here, so the Pwnstrs are going to have to win this map to draw it and possibly go into an overtime map. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. The Pwnstrs on the attack here. They are looking to run this Bastion comp with the pirate ship, a very common comp seen. And the Cheesesteaks looking to run a Widow here. So we're going to see what IEFA can put in. He has been very solid on the hit scan on both Soldier and Tracer. Not as much hit scan, but on a flanker roll. So we're going to see what he can put in. But it might not be enough unless he can find the picks onto the squishies in the back.
Yeah, versus the pirate ship comp, Widow is like, she has to get creative to get those picks, right? So if Iva can get around and kill 1 or 2 in the back and stop the the pirate ship push, like that's great. But you know, it's not something I expect to see happen.
Yeah, so he's going to really have to put in the work here and find new angles to try to pick that back line, as they will have the Reso barrier to keep them alive, as well as they're going to be lacking a little bit of damage to help try to break the tanks apart, as well as chuck the damage out onto the Bastion here. As well as you can see, they're holding back quite a bit, so they're not going to look to punish very early and get the quick picks onto the Bastion while he's getting onto the cart. So we're going to see Elite pwnstrs already start to have the advantage in terms of positioning here, because they're going to be able to set up on that cart for relatively free. All right, so we see the Elite pwnstrs here rolling out, trying to get on that cart here. We do see the Bastion set up, so it's going to come down to elit3 being able to pull off that Bastion from the tank. They are able to rip the shield, but IEFA finding a pick very early, and elit3 already taking down that Bastion. A really solid defense coming out from the Cheesesteaks, even with that positional disadvantage, as they are able to frag out here. You can see them really start to push in here and clean up the frags that they need.
It looks like the Pwnstrs are smart enough to swap off that Bastion. If it doesn't work right away, you're not going to get all the way to the point with it. So they are going to a more conventional comp here.
So this is going to help out IEFA a lot on this Widow, as he doesn't have to worry about the Bastion as a huge threat to deal with. He can really focus on just finding the squishes in the back. So we are looking here. They are holding the corner. IEFA does have Visor up, so we're going to see what he can make use with. He does see this McCree. He's looking for a pick on the 3 squishies on that stairwell. But Junkrat pushing alone on that underside, really taking an interesting positioning there to try to prevent any rotations coming through to his backline. We do see the Moira art starts to come up, and we can see that Nick's already using it very, very early in the fight here to really keep his team alive, and it's looking to pay off as they're able to find the frags they need. Cheesesteaks forced to back out here to regroup, waiting for their respawns to come through. IEFA a little out of position, and he is taken down as he is on that right side by himself. So we're going to see the Pwnstrs here start to push through. The Cheesesteaks are going to have to wait for those respawns to come back in to push this, but it will look like they have time to do so.
Yeah, switching off the Bastion was the right choice. It looks like he's doing a lot better on McCree. Junkrat has Tyre. Hopefully he can get something with it.
So a big hook coming out from Soko, able to take down Boonham. Taking a lot of damage out of the fight, but Guma does go down as well. IFA stops that Tyre, and we see a whole hawk from Soko coming out. But IFA really finding the work here. If he gets the pick on the Moira, and that's going to stop that push very early in its tracks. As the only heals they have is the Zenyatta, as it will not be enough. We're going to see the Pwnstrs here have to back up. As the cleanup does just come through for the Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, this is a great example of why if you're ever in your comp games, you know, people yell, die on payload, die on payload. When you run away after a fight's lost like this, all you're doing is slowing your team down.
Yeah, that's an extra 5-10 seconds that they're going to have to wait to regroup here and respawn. So we do see a ult advantage coming in for the Cheesesteaks. With Widow ult not being the most powerful in the world, but we do have the Riptire and the Bongo, as Memphis did use his Bongo last fight. We will have a high noon coming up, so we'll see what kind of positioning he chooses to take to try to find a pick or a key pick, or maybe just frag out and try to find that backline. So we see both here. We have the shield battle once again, really looking to try to break those shields and find a pick on the other side. Goomba does find a Riptire kill in the back, so that's going to be a lot of damage coming out, being lost for the Pwnstrs, as they're forced to back out here again and regroup.
Yeah, IFA's just forcing them back, making them play behind shield. He's denying the angles, so it's really helping them out here.
And again, he finds a pick onto that Zenyatta. The Pwnstrs not regrouping quite right, as they're losing picks and wasting time here on the attack. And IEFA really taking advantage of that. We do have ults now coming up from both teams. The Pwnstrs do chuck a Diva Bomb over top to try to punish the position. Doesn't quite find anything, as Soko kind of alone on this side, but does find a pick onto JTA. Getting punished for it, though, as he takes a lot of damage. He's able to make it through with the help of Moira. And IFA finding the picks that he needs as well onto the main tank Memphis. Soko does choose to pop his whole hog here to push them back and confirm the fight. So we're going to see one last push here coming out from the Pwnstrs. Ult economy, relatively even. We do have the Transcendence coming out from the side of the Pwnstrs, so that should help at least to counter the Bongo from elit3. So we do see a Riptire here coming out from JTA, the attacking side. We're going to see what he can make do with it. But IEFA really shutting that down. I don't think he's been able to find any real Riptire punches. A good ball and chain combo coming out from the tanks on the side of Cheesesteaks. Able to take down a large damage. No Junkrat for them on the attack. Another ball and chain, not quite there, and he does take a lot of damage for it. Roadhog found out of position. Soko really taking a huge beating, but he is able to push all the way through, and Guma finding a nice double kill to clean up that fight. And that will be the defense from the Cheesesteaks. A very solid defense on that first section here.
Yeah, Elite pwnst4rz really need to... I think they should have switched to the Widow, so the IFA just couldn't have played as aggressive as he wanted to. And then maybe they can get a pick on the Widow, but they decided to go with McCree and didn't work out.
So what do you do now here if you're in the pwnst4rz shoes? What do they need to run to really hold a solid defense here? It's not easy.
You go cheesy. I mean, if you get full hold on Junkertown, it's kind of a bad place for you to be. I mean, they could try running something with Mei, like do the stand by the spawn door, but I see their chances here being very, very meek.
It's going to be a really tough fight here for the pwnst4rz as they did not make it past the first point here. They're going to have to really dig deep inside of them and find what they need to stop this comp coming out from the Cheesesteaks. And it looks like the Cheesesteaks are looking to run a Bastion comp here with the Mercy, interestingly enough. We're going to see if this will change up as the timer does tick down here and we're getting ready to start. But it's going to be really tough for the pwnst4rz. They're going to have really good discipline positioning, as well as they cannot get picked. As their respawn will be very, very far away with the Cheesesteaks having respawn advantage for most of the map here. So it does look like we're going to be running this Bastion comp. Interesting enough with Nox on the Bastion this time instead of his tank role that he's been on for quite a while here. Soko as well, switching up to this support role. So we're going to see the flex come out from a lot of these players on the Cheesesteaks, which has been a great advantage for them. JTA opting to go for that Tracer. He has been playing Junkrat for most of the map now, or Soldier now, as he switched. So we're going to have to see what he can make do with that. So the flexing really, really making a difference here. From both teams to basically to see if the Cheesesteaks can really close this out here. This should be a good fight for them. They just got to play it clean, and that'll be the game.
Yeah, and pwnst4rz without a Widow, they're holding back against the Pirate Chip combo. I mean, there's nothing to stop the Cheesesteaks from getting on. They don't even have the Orisa ball to get them off of it, and it just doesn't seem like they have a winning strategy here.
We will see this Widow on attack too, so a lot of range potential with both the Bastion and the Widow. And we already see the pwnst4rz having the back up here, giving a lot of space for free. As they really don't have enough they really don't have the setup they need to contest this Bastion. You can see with the D.Va, you can eat the bullets with the defense matrix, but both of the tanks are very, very susceptible and are very static. With really only the Lucio to get them into the position to punish it. So we do see a dive coming out here from the pwnst4rz as they begin to push in. Both teams being healed up by their healers. The pwnst4rz do run a Moira, so they will have a lot more healing, but it may not matter with this Bastion. As Soko does find a pick onto Brutum, that's a great pick for the Cheesesteaks, as they're going to have to wait quite a while for the pwnst4rz to get that respawn back in. Soko really pushing through, finding the other tank as well. Bloodthirsty does find a pick on the back line on the Lucio, and IEFA really putting in that range threat. We see the Nox here with the Bastion ult, as it will probably be enough to clean out the map. We're going to see the last minute contest here out of the pwnst4rz, but it may not be enough. They're forced to switch to this Doomfist, which is countered by the Bastion. And with Goomba rezzing up IEFA, there's going to be a lot of threats here coming out. Nox able to mow down a lot of the players coming in one by one, as that will be the win for the Cheesesteaks, taking this match 2-0.
Yeah, it looks like IFO, the Widow pick is just really, really, really good because you just force the team to play behind shields, and when you have the Bastion, he just breaks the shield, and then you get picks, and it's that easy.
It's maybe oversimplifying, but the team with the Widow player pulled ahead, and it's not that surprising. I think they just had kind of cleaner play. They did have that pressure, and this was an unfortunate final defense right here.
So we can see a lot of the key players here, Nox specifically, able to flex onto both the off tank as well as the DPS, putting on a lot of work for his team, whether it was on Zarya or the Bastion on the attack, as well as IEFA, really putting a lot of work on the DPS. You saw him on the Tracer, you saw him on the Soldier, he was able to flex with that Junkrat a little bit, but really putting in the work on the Widow as well here on Junkertown, finding key picks like on that Moira,